Hello, everyone. We'll wait for the attendees to trickle in. Thank you so much to everyone who is joining us today. So excited to see lots of familiar names who have been in our previous panels. So exciting to have you back. And now I'm here today with the amazing Darla Powell, who brings a fun, genuine, and down-to-earth approach to designing beautiful spaces. She is the founder of Darla Powell Interiors and Wingnut Social Marketing Agency. And today she's going to be reviewing the 2020 blueprint for marketing your interior design firm. So without further ado, take it away.
No more ado. Thank you so much, Zoe, and thank you to Foyr for inviting me to speak here. So we have 25 to 35 minutes here to cover a very in-depth topic, which is marketing for your interior design firm. And I know 2020 is almost over, but it's not quite over, right? And this is going to apply to 2021. Spoiler alert here as well. All right, so as Zoe said, my name is Darla Powell. I am the principal designer of Darla Powell Interiors in Miami, Florida. We do have a design firm as well. And our first marketing vertical for the Wingnut Social Media Agency was interior designers, because I had been so successful doing that on my own for my own design firm. So just a little bit about what we're talking about today. We're going to be talking about, right, wait for it, how to market your design firm in 2020. And 2021. Remember Conan O'Brien used to have in the year 2000? I'm dating myself here. Okay, so put in the comments there. Let me know, you guys out there, what are you using currently for marketing tactics? Are you using postcards? Are you using billboards? Lauren Sullivan, if you're watching, I'm looking at you. There's actually a designer who's on the podcast, Lauren Sullivan, who uses billboards to great effect. We're not covering that here, but who knows? It all depends on your market, right? Social media, I will 100% transparency. That is my number one thing right there. Social media, I'm all about it. It has been the most impactful for me for my interior design firm. Are you using emails? I hope you are. And definitely blogs. Please tell me at least you're going to be blogging if you aren't already. They're so helpful for SEO. So in this course, we're going to learn how to align your marketing strategies with what you want your end game to be. And that could be several different things. It could be, do I want to be on HGTV? Do I want to get local clientele? Do I just want to increase my brand awareness? And so we're going to go over that and what the difference is for those things, because there actually is. And they work synergistically, right? But you can also do them piecemeal and apply whichever one it works for your end game there. So what are your marketing goals for 2020? I would love to see that in the comments here. Do you just want to get real clients? Forget HGTV. Do you want brand collaborations? Do you want to be a speaker? Do you want to be on HGTV? Right? So there's ways to go about this, but of course, 9 times out of 10, talking to the interior design audience, you guys just want clients. You really would like to get clients from your marketing, picking up the phone, calling you, and scheduling a consultation with you. So there are 4 different factors to keep in mind for these goals. So the first tier is brand awareness, which we're going to cover. The second one is, do you want just people coming to your website? The third one is, do you want to engender brand loyalty? That know, like, and trust. I'm the industry expert. I have super fans. They're crazy about me. Fourth, lead generation. This is the high dollar value stuff where people are picking up the phone, giving you a call saying, come and design my space. I really want to throw money at you. So we're going to go over each of these, and I'm going to give you some tips as to what to do to achieve the end game on each of these categories. But keep in mind, I could talk for 10 hours on this subject. There's a myriad of different social media strategies, different marketing strategies, SEO to achieve these goals, but I'm going to give you the basics, and hopefully you'll find that helpful. So the first one is brand awareness. Now, brand awareness is really super important. You might think that by posting social media, you just want to, they need to call me. They need to send me an email asking me for my services. But the thing is brand awareness is a philosophy and a technique to get people who don't already know about your brand just to know about you, to kind of kick the bucket over and say, hey, what's under here? What is this brand? What is this company all about? And there's a different way to approach that. for just brand awareness that's different than if you want to get the web traffic, the brand loyalty, and the people calling you. And it's important too, because you want to think about the brand awareness. If you think of your marketing as a funnel, right? You know, funnels are tapered. You have the big part here and the small part here. The brand awareness is like the first part of that funnel. In order to be able to do the selling for the lead generation and getting those super fans that have to know about you. And the way you're going to put out your content, the way you're going to put out your advertising is a little different in this way. And it's, like I said, it can be a synergistic mix of all these, but if this is just what you want to focus on, here's what you need to do. Organic social media for this really kind of sucks, because the thing is that Facebook and Instagram, and Facebook owns Instagram, right? They don't really like to send people off of their platforms to another website. They don't do it. They don't like to do it. So they're not going to show Susie Homemaker or Susan McNuggets interior designer. They're not going to show them your website organically to link out to more often than not. However, if you throw some money at them at Facebook and Instagram and say, hey, here's an ad, here's my latest blog post, come find out what we're all about, they're more than happy to trade that off for you for sure. One thing that you can do though to help your organic reach for brand awareness is when you're posting, you don't want to do everything at once. So pick a post for brand awareness and pick hashtags that are not as niche as you might normally. Like if you're a Chicago interior designer, maybe you're tagging Chicago interior designer, kitchen remodel Chicago, okay? But if you want to increase your brand awareness, tag bigger cities that are further out, make it nationwide. Maybe you want people to read your blog. You want to establish yourself as that expert, that thought leader, and get people just to say, hey, who is Wingnut Social? Who is Darla Powell Interiors? Who is Susan McNuggets Interior Design Group? And just kind of building that awareness. And the same thing for SEO when it comes to your website. Again, think of it, this is the first rim of the funnel. You throw that basketball and it goes around the rim, right? That's where we're at with this. So for SEO, it's the same thing. When you do your website, make sure that you have keywords that are a little more broad reaching. We'll get into the specific ones, don't worry. But remember, this is just for brand awareness. Make sure you have keywords that are more broad reaching, maybe something that's more searchable, like here's how to create a color palette. Here's how to pick the perfect paint color. How do you organize a bookshelf, right? The tried and true favorite there. Because right now we're getting people nationwide, worldwide even, depending on what your goals are, to just kind of, who the heck are you? Who are you, Susan McNuggets? Right? We just want them kicking over that bucket. Also make sure on each page of your website that you have at least 200 words of copy somewhere. I know as interior designers, we're like pretty, picture, picture, picture. That's really all we're kind of interested in, but Google doesn't, well, aside from alt text, which is another webinar, Google doesn't really make you discoverable via the pictures. They're little robots that crawl for the SEO, they're avid, they're voracious readers. So when you are doing your 200 words per page on your website, put in some general keywords that are going to get you discovered for brand awareness, rather than, or in addition to, the niche ones that we're going to get into in a little bit. And a good thing that I kind of skipped over here on the social ads, when you are doing a brand awareness campaign, when you go to your Facebook, remember Facebook owns Instagram, you go to their ad manager and you do an ad, which would cover Facebook and or Instagram. You can actually direct that ad manager and for your posts not to include people who follow you already. Because why? You're trying to reach out to people who don't know you, right? So, and that's something to remember as well. Okay. Here, this is an ad I did for brand awareness for Darla Powell Interiors. And this was a paid social post because, like I said, if you ain't throwing money at it, you're probably not going to get much traction unless you get found on the Instagram Explore page or something happens to go viral or someone shares it. That can happen. I'm not saying it can't, but it's not so likely to do it. So this is a post I did. This is one of my first projects. And you can see the impressions that I received from this paid post were 99,300, which was pretty good. That's a pretty good amount of times that it was displayed on someone's screen somewhere. The reach at 63,658 is the amount of people who came into contact with this post one way or another. And you can see the follows, the people that actually said, you know what, not only is this pretty, I'm kind of digging it, I'm going to follow her. There you go. That brand awareness has bumped me to the next level, which we're going to get into, which I can use those 63 followers for. And still keep dabbling with that brand awareness out there, because this reach of 63,658, maybe the first time wasn't the charm. Maybe the second won't be, but the third might be, right? So they're going to say, I've been seeing this Darla Powell around. I've been seeing her around. You know what the hell? Maybe I'm going to go ahead and follow her. It's good to note that if you do boost, right, or put some paid advertising behind your social media post as an interior designer, whatever you do, do not use inspo posts. Do not use someone else's work. And it seems common sense. It seems like a no-brainer. Make sure it is your own work and everybody is credited appropriately. Now, another thing with a boosted post on social is you have to think, how much do I want to spend on this? How long do I want to run it? I think I spent $100 to $150 on this ad, and just so I could leave it, you know, I didn't want to worry about it. I let it run for 30 days. So you can go from 1 day to 30 days, but I wouldn't recommend going any less than 2 days on a boosted post, on a boosted post, because it just takes a while for those insights to come in for you to see what they are, how they're performing. All right. Now, brand awareness. Okay, so you've put all your stuff out there. There's a buzz. Who is this Susan McNuggets interior designer? Okay, let's move down the funnel a little bit. The basketball's starting to sink. I want people actually coming to my website now. They're interested. They've kicked over the bucket. Web traffic. So web traffic, in order to get web traffic, your marketing priorities, again, remember what I said? They don't want to link out. Facebook, Instagram, any platform doesn't really want to link away from their platform to your website unless you make it less painful by throwing some money at them. So here's some ways to get good web traffic. And we're going to dial this in to getting the paying people, don't you worry. So again, organic social, not the best. Platforms will penalize you. So one of the best things that you can use for web traffic is content marketing. And what do I mean by that? I'm sure you guys have all heard how important it is to be blogging for your SEO, blogging for your business. There's a couple of ways that you can blog. There's the kind of blog sometimes that I do at Darla Powell Interiors that is like, look at our kick-ass interior design process. Don't you want to hire us? Give us a call, right? And then there's the other kind of post that says, hey, here's how to pick paint colors. Here's my advice to put lighting in your house that's more searchable, more broad. That is what you want to do just to get web traffic. Nationwide, worldwide, do something, content that's helpful, do tips that are practical, that people will actually go to your website and read. And you can also do, like, for example, we have our podcast, which we'll get into as well. But for SEO, web traffic, your search ads, you know, the Google ads that you can go on there, you can buy, put $300, $400, $500 a month in there. Make your search ads, the keywords that you use for your search ads, again, just to get web traffic, a little bit of a broader reach. It's not going to be for this purpose, for web traffic. It wouldn't be exactly Miami interior designer. That is coming, right? It would be how to pick the perfect paint color, again, right? How to style your porch for fall. In Miami, we don't really have that, but we did do that in spite of the fact that it is Miami. As long as you can get your blog to answer questions that people are clicking into the Googles, how do I do this? How do I solve this? How do I do this? Then that's going to get you some more web traffic. In a way, a couple of tools to help you determine what is it that people are looking for in your space. Google keyword search tool, that is the name of it, very creative. I don't know how long it took them to come up with that. And SEMrush are two tools that can help you with keywords for sure. And depending on your market, it could be more of a competitive phrase, a more competitive keyword string. And that could determine your budget when placing a Google Ads and if people click on it. Now, we do at Wingnut Social also is we have the podcast that we put that out, and that is content marketing in a way, right? Because people are getting value twice a week on Mondays and Wednesdays, but of course it's a podcast. You can listen to it whenever the heck you feel like it. You can get tips on social media marketing, business tips, and putting that out there. And what this does is when you do content marketing in that way, to where it's give, is you're building brand loyalty, right? So the people at the beginning of the funnel for brand awareness, kicked over the can, saw who you are. Oh, now they're coming to your website. Now they're checking out your blogs. Now they're checking out your web traffic. Oh, they're listening to your podcast. They're fans. They're fans now. And this is one thing that organic social excels at, because after you've done your brand awareness and the other two steps and you know, you almost had it, got them in there, then they're commenting and they're engaging on your social media channels. And it's so important. This is where your personal touch absolutely 100% comes in, is to engage with people who comment on any of your platforms, on your YouTube channel, on your blogs, on your email, on your social media. And you want to just take it a step higher than that as well. You want to have a dialogue with your super fans. You want to ask them how they are, how are they holding up with the murder hornets, the pandemic? How's their new project going? Or, you know, make them heard and let them feel important, and that just increases that super fandom and that brand loyalty. And you can do the same with email marketing. Once they've fallen to this part of the funnel where they're into it, they're digging what you're putting out. Email, put out a newsletter once a month of this is what's going on behind the scenes. This is the press we've received. This is what we're up to. Look at this beautiful new project we've done, or here's the blog that we have with this terrific information in it. Don't you want to read it? And they're like, yes, I want to read it. I love it. Give me more. And that's how you create those super fans again. And ask them in the email, hey, if you have any questions about A, B, C, or D, or something related to your content, give us a call, email me back. Or even you can, in your email, you can say, which do you prefer? A or B, to get that engagement and get them heard. And for God's sakes, if they do email you back, reply. Take the time to reply for sure. Okay, content marketing, again, that includes blogs, podcasts, videos, super important. Anything that you're giving. If you guys are familiar with Gary Vaynerchuk, he's a marketing guru, and he has the 80-20 rule. And basically what that is 80% you're just giving. You're giving content. Don't worry about, oh, am I giving too much away? No. Because what you're doing is you're building that trust, you're building that credibility. And at the end of the day, they're not going to want to do it themselves. They're just going to say, you know what? She's so good. She was so helpful. I dug her vibe. I'm just going to go ahead and hire her. Don't worry about that at all. All right, now we're getting into the Benjamins. I mean, it's all trickles to the Benjamins, but this is seriously the Benjamins, right? Lead generation. This is when you market in such a way to where there's calls to action that are call us for the consultation, email us for the sofa that you see on here. So again, search ads, right, for Google, but we're not going broad like we did for just the web traffic. We're not going broad like we did for awareness. This, you want to make sure that when you use the Google keyword tool, or when you use the SEMrush tool, that you're looking for what's called high purchase intent keywords. So remember, we had how to choose the perfect color palette or something to that effect for the web traffic. Great, serves its purpose. This is going to be more like Miami interior designer, Miami kitchen designer, Chicago interior designer. And these are going to be more expensive keywords when it comes to bidding for them on Google when you do your Google ads, but these are way more likely to generate paying clients because that's what they're typing in when they are ready to buy. So that's something to remember when you are looking for lead generation. Definitely it's an investment, but it's super important. Paid social media is the same. In fact, I use paid social media to much greater effect than even the Google ads, because I've just built up such traction and such momentum with it. It just works really well. So for paid social media, it's the same thing. You can target, right, your ads, your posts, your videos, your blogs, and dial that into the upper top 10% of income in your area. You can dial that into people who only like interior design, or people only in Chicago, or doctors and lawyers, or whatever your avatar, your client, target client can be. You can create, and this is super powerful actually. Nicole Heimer of Curio Electro, she's a web design firm in New Jersey for interior designers, created a lead magnet for us. And if you don't know what that is, it's a little button on your website that has something sexy, something enticing, like, do you want to find out how much it'll cost to furnish your home, which we have for Darla Powell Interiors? Click here. And when they do, they give you your email address. And this serves one of two things, right? I'm getting their email address, so they're a lead, a soft lead, because they're interested, but it also vets them, because I'm telling them, hey, this is kind of how much it's going to be to work with me. So if they are following up and if they are biting, then I know it's a warm lead for sure. So in order to do this, you need to make sure these are the ones that you have the calls to action on for sure. And you can share that lead magnet, right? For Wingnut Social, we have a quiz, which is the social media marketing platform you should be on, or something to that. I don't speak for a living, right? And it's got its own URL. Okay, we can share that. If we want lead generation, we want people signing up for the quiz and giving the email and following through, that is an example of lead generation. We can put that in search ads. We can put that in paid social media, and we can also put that in our email marketing. So when we're thinking about email marketing for lead generation, okay, so we were building web traffic, we were building brand loyalty before, or brand loyalty more so, with the emails, for your emails, and the way we described them for the brand loyalty section. Here we're getting a little bit more of that 20%, let's ask, and who better to give you business or to refer clients to you than people who have already worked with you, happy clients. Not the sad ones, the happy clients. So you can send out an email with something like a little bit of a deadline to it saying, hey, Mr. and Mrs. McNuggets. I like that name for some reason. It was such a pleasure working with you. I just want you to know that we're accepting clients now for the holiday decorating. If you happen to know of anybody, I'm offering a free couple of hours, or whatever the heck you feel would be an appropriate gift to them, for a referral, to give them a little quid pro quo there. That is, you know, referrals are always the best, the easiest to close. Those are the best there to close. And people who love you and have worked with you and are happy with you, generally speaking, will want to refer you regardless, but it doesn't help if you get a little something, something, you know, for that. It's a really not a bad idea at all. I only have 25 minutes to do this, so it's a lot of information. Last but not least, okay, track your results. See what's working for you. On Instagram and Facebook, you have your hub, your dashboard, where you can see what are my impressions? What are my reach? What is my reach for this campaign? How many likes did I receive? How much engagement did I receive? In fact, on Instagram, by each of your posts, you can check, it says insights. And you can look, you can see what is your organic reach, what is your paid reach, how many people for brand awareness discovered you that weren't already following you, which, by the way, I forgot to mention it in that section. If you are reaching 50, it'll give you a percentage. If it says 50% of the reach, the impressions of that post were not following you, you're doing very well. For brand awareness, you want to make sure that that is a 50%. And make sure, because you can look on your Google Analytics for interior design, your website, any website, where your traffic is coming from. Under the acquisition bar, you can see what's coming from Pinterest, what's coming from Instagram, yada, 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 yada. But there's really no accounting for when that person picks up the phone and calls you, where exactly they came from. So make sure when they email you, when they call you, you know, break the ice. Hey, great. Can I ask how you heard about us? 9 times out of 10, maybe 8.9 times out of 10, it's Instagram for my interior design firm. But that's also where I put all my muscle. Instagram, depending on your location, depending on your demographics, it could be Facebook. If you're a commercial designer, could be LinkedIn. Probably not TikTok at this moment, although there are interior designers on there with millions of followers. So again, this could have been a 5-hour presentation. You guys could have been really sick of me, but that is it. And now it is time for questions and answers. Zoe, I don't know if any came in, but I'm happy to
yes, we have a bunch of questions and lots of buzz in the chat. People are really, really enjoying this. So I'll read out questions as they've come in. The first one, somebody read about your personal journey and how you started being an interior designer as a second career. So they'd like to know more about that journey and transition. Okay, so I was a cop for 18 and a half years. I was a sergeant detective with the Miami-Dade Police Department. And it's not that it was an unfulfilling job. It's not that I hated it. I might have hated it a little. But I had a midlife crisis at 47, and I had been doing designing and decor and flipping houses off and on my whole adult life, and decorating and designing my childhood. 47, I said, you know, life is too short. I'm not doing what's fulfilling me. I'm not doing what I love. So I started a side hustle, started immediately with the social media marketing, put my shingle out there. This is what I'm doing. Took off, started getting clients left and right. And I looked at my partner and I said, oh, holy cow. I was going to say something else. Holy cow, people are really getting ready to hire me. And she says, give your lieutenant 2 weeks notice. And that was 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, almost. Yes, almost. And I haven't looked back since. Short version. That's so inspiring. Oh my gosh. I'm at the beginning of my career. I'm pretty young, but I feel like, you know, so many people think that once you've kind of settled on a career path, you have to just stick to that. And if you don't like it, too bad. But it's really inspiring to see that it is possible to change and be successful with it.
And, you know, I tried to make the best of it. I went and got promoted. I was a sergeant. I did my best. I gave it 100%. But after I gave it 100% and it still wasn't where I wanted to be, I could leave knowing I gave it 100%.
I love that. I love that.
Thank you.
So our next question is, how do we exactly do email marketing? Are there any firms that provide emails, like some of them provide business leads to reach potential clients?
Yeah, there are. I mean, we don't use those here where you buy the leads. There's firms that do from LinkedIn a lot that'll reach out and DM on LinkedIn. All you got to do is Google them and see lead generation is what it's called. And LinkedIn is very popular for that. If you're talking about creating emails for your marketing, like styling it, putting the content and sending it to your list, Wingnut Social does that. There are other people that do that as well. That's where to start. If you want to do it yourself, basically you start with that brand awareness, the website traffic, getting people to come to your website, and having that lead magnet, like I said, that captures their email address in exchange for something of value, something of information. That's been the best for my design website and for my marketing website at Wingnut.
Amazing, thank you. So our next question.
I answered it.
Oh no, that's perfect. Yeah. And if anyone has any follow-up questions to any of this, feel free to post that in the chat as well. So the next question is, there are so many marketing tools around. So where do you draw the line between like good, sufficient marketing and too much so you don't annoy contacts and leads?
Yeah, so that's something you're gonna have to figure that out. That can be touchy. I would definitely pull back and err on the side of not enough, more than too much, because I know you, like me, will sign up for something and then you get inundated every day with an email. It's like, listen, I liked you a little bit, but I'm not quite ready to get married, and you unsubscribe from them. So you're gonna have to pace that out. And you can do that if you use a CRM like MailChimp or Active Campaign. You can look at it and see who's unsubscribing, what the open rates are, and just, you have to look at it over time and see how that's working for you. Right now at DPI, I put out maybe, Darla Powell Interiors, I put out maybe 2 emails a month because I just don't want to get too screwy. But every time I put out a blog post, I get inquiries for projects. along the lines of what I put out for a blog post. So you just kind of have to gauge that yourself. I mean, what do you hate to see? I mean, I don't want 2 or 3 emails from the same people a day or even in a week. So it really depends on your market, your followers, and the content you're putting out. I don't really have an exact number.
That's very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next question is, what are your thoughts on hiring a content writer to help with blog writing?
Yeah, no worries at all. If you can find somebody that gets your voice, I mean, we write blogs for interior designers at Wingnut for sure. It's not something that we push first. We're a social first agency, but we have full service clients that we do the newsletters, the blog, and all that for. But you have to make sure that that person understands your vernacular, how you write, how you speak, but you also have to be able to let go a smidge, right? And let them use best practices for writing those emails in order to get the engagement and get the response. So it's a little bit of a partnership and a little bit of a kind of letting go of control, not to the point to where it's outside of your brand guidelines or how you would speak, but it might not be exactly mind reading, but that's for the best, right? Because people are hiring you, people are hiring me for interior design knowledge. They don't know how to do it, and they're letting us do that for them. For the same reason, you and I should be delegating stuff like that to the people who know how to do it. So I don't mind it at all. And mostly it's done with a non-disclosure, because you don't really want people knowing you have a ghostwriter unless that's your thing. But they're out there. There's quite a few out there.
Amazing. Thank you. So we got 2 questions about Houzz, so I'll ask those together. First, what are your thoughts on Houzz? And 2, how did you manage to be a Houzz 5 stars for 3 consecutive years?
Very good question. Houzz for me has gotten me projects. I am a Houzz pro person. I do pay them like, I think $150 a month to cover Miami-Dade County. And I do get leads from it. In fact, I just signed 2 clients from Houzz from it because I went in there, I zhuzhed up my portfolio, and I'm very responsive to them. They have the Houzz Pro dashboard now, which I found very helpful in dealing with clients, setting up appointments and stuff. But I will say that there's a large percentage of the Houzz that tends to be a little tire kickery, which is okay. I can still talk to them. I'm still developing that, at the very least, brand awareness, right? But they do a very good job of getting us found on Google search too. When you look for interior designers in Miami, top interior designers in Miami, and it's a Houzz thing, you click on that and that helps you to be discovered. I know there's a lot of icky feelings, you know, about Houzz, and I do get that, but I mean, one client more than pays for itself for a year. Oh, and the review part, you just ask. You have a client, you do a really good job for them. Hey, would you mind leaving us? Because we have a pretty good amount of Google reviews too. I haven't been as good about asking for them lately, but you just ask, and you get 2 or 3 good reviews on Houzz in a year, and you get that little plaque, oh, best in service or best in whatever. And you know, as decorators, as designers, we're like, whoop-de-doo, but the clients eat that up. They love it. It gives you credibility. It is what it is.
That's wonderful. Thank you. The next question is, how often should you analyze and track the results of your marketing efforts?
I get in there daily, but of course I'm a little bit of a wingnut. My nickname is actually Wingnut, a little OCD, but I would do it at the very least once a week. It just depends on how comfortable you are letting your marketing budget sit there and perform or not perform for an entire week, whenever you have time, really. So the biggest challenge about all of this is a full-time job, and we already have one. We're already out meeting with clients and designing houses. But if you have time and you want to get in there and just kind of get a feel for it, I would say, if I'm going to give you a number, I would say try every 48 to 72 hours would probably be good, because it takes a while for the information to populate and to really see what something is doing.
Excellent, excellent. On a related note, someone asked, how much should we budget per month for marketing?
It depends. We actually had a really great episode with Kate O'Hara from Martha O'Hara Interiors on the Wingnut Social podcast, where she was talking about just this. If you guys are familiar with Luann Nagara of a Well-Designed Business podcast, I love her. She was my muse. She got me started in all this. Another story. She budgets anywhere from 15 to 20% of her overall gross for marketing. If you're a newer designer, if you're just starting out, you might want to up that percentage, because people don't know you yet. You have to spend a certain amount on the brand awareness, on the website stuff. So it really depends. You can spend as little as $1,000 a month to $10,000 a month. It just depends on what your end goals are and how deep your pockets are and how big do you want to get. I mean, if you guys have ever gone out and tried to hire a PR firm, you know, they can be $5,000 to $10,000 a month easy. So the thing is with marketing like this, the emails and the blogs and the social media it's not a hobby. It's real multi-billion-dollar business. And you get out of it what you put into it as far as the ROI. It's also not an overnight thing. It's not, if you put in $2,000 or $5,000 a month into your marketing efforts, that doesn't guarantee you clients are just going to start picking up the phone and it's going to ring off the hook. It takes some time to build that know, like, and trust, and to be visible and be in front of people. And they're going to creep you for a while to see, okay, maybe they're sticking around. I kind of like their stuff. You know how that is. Before you make a big purchase, you just don't, it's not an impulse buy. You want to see there's some stick-to-itiveness there.
Exactly. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Someone asked, can you please share details of the web developer who created your lead magnet?
Oh yeah, that's Curio Electro, CurioElectro. And that is Nicole Heimer. She did my lead magnets for both websites. And she also designed my entire Wingnut social website. And it's amazing. We just launched it last month. I love her. She's also a dear friend of mine. She's very talented. The process of working with her was eye-opening. It was amazing. That's how everybody should run their business. Really, really well done.
That's so great. And how do you spell her last name? Nicole
Heimer, Heymer. She's been on the podcast a couple times too.
Perfect. So yes, anyone who's interested in that, I posted those names in the chat, so definitely go take a look.
Yeah, please, you'll love her. Yeah.
Awesome. Next question is, which social media platform do you think is best for design marketing?
It depends, right? So Instagram's always my go-to because it's so visually appealing. It's a high aesthetic format on the feed. You can get a little more casual, a little bit more down and dirty in the stories and in your video, but Instagram is hard to beat. And for me, as a residential designer, Instagram gets me the majority of my leads. However, Pinterest can be really great too. You can put some money behind Pinterest depending on where you work. And LinkedIn, if you're a commercial designer, could be incredibly invaluable. I'm not licensed for commercial design here in Florida yet, although my creative director will be doing that soon. So plans, but it really depends on your market. It really depends on the demographic, the people you're reaching out to. If you have an older demographic in a smaller town, it might be Facebook. And the thing is, there's a misconception that Instagram is just for kids or it's younger, but I get professionals making buku money in their 40s, early 50s, and that's my sweet spot all the time from Instagram.
I love that. So we have time for one more question, and this is a good one. Very simple, but good. How often do you post to social media per week?
We recommend at least 4 to 5 times a week at a minimum. Ideally, if you can do every day, that would be great. Who has the time or the budget for that? I don't know. I definitely don't have the time. Once a day is terrific. Some big accounts, big influencers will post twice a day. I think that's overkill for us and what we're searching for, unless you're, Kelly Wersler, and even she only posts once a day. I don't even know if she posts every day. But 4 to 5 times a week at minimum. And on Instagram, the stories feature there, you should try to keep that populated. It's ephemeral. So your stories will expire. It rotates every 24 hours. You know what I mean? And then you put something new, it lives for 24. So try to keep that alive. But we don't always have the time, so just do the best. But if you can do 4 to 5 times a week, you're doing really well.
Excellent. So thank you so much, Darla. This was such a wonderful talk. And I know we had a few other questions. So if anyone, wants to reach out to Darla, her info is right on the slide there. So definitely take a screenshot or jot that down. And thank you so much. It was absolutely wonderful.
Oh, thank you, Zoe. I appreciate you guys inviting me so much. This has been a great experience, and everybody be safe, stay well, and watch out for the murder hornets.
Yes, be safe. So we will see you all in our next session, which is happening in several minutes, and it'll be all about sustainability in interior design. So the link is in the chat, and we will see you there.